Hey, have you ever wondered why you do the things you do? Like you got 1,000 things on the go, maybe you've got piles of paper here and there and unfinished projects and all these interests in all these different things, but no way to manage it. I thought that too, and I still think that. So I've been like that my whole life and recently got diagnosed with ADHD. And I've always been trying to figure out a better system to manage myself. All the while ignoring the whole ADHD thing because I never knew I had it, but I was like, maybe. I mean, it's not like it was a huge mystery. All the symptoms or the behaviors point to it. So since I've been diagnosed, it's only been 23 days. I got diagnosed April 1st. Now I've been pouring into like figuring this out. So I started the year 2024 by thinking like I'm going to conquer this. I didn't know about the ADHD yet, but I was, pretty sure of it, like I said. And then I immediately went out and I bought all the books, right? I bought that one, and then I bought that one, and then I bought this one over here. I don't know if you can see that. That one, and then I bought that one. And again, I hope you can see that. But the point is, bought all of those, read all of those. They're all good. They got good stuff in them. Consumed about 1 trillion YouTube videos on productivity and download all the things, all the apps, all the Notion and Asana and every other one that you could possibly think of. Tried them all and tried to make my own a bunch of different times. And then I was like, wait a second. These things are not solving the problem. First of all, I'm digging into somebody else's system, which doesn't have ADHD. I mean, some of these people might, but like Cal Newport, I really doubt the guy's got ADHD. He seems to have his shit really, really tight. But anyhow, I've gone through some of my stuff and recorded some videos that will follow this sort of intro to this video that I'm making right now. And maybe it's a horrible idea. Maybe it's a great idea. I'm hoping that it helps you. I was making it for 2 reasons. One, somebody asked me to show them my stuff, right? I'm like, oh man, be careful what you wish for. So I've shown that. And then the other part was like, I want that I want to get help for myself. Have somebody look at my stuff and be like, hey, let's mastermind this together. We can figure out how to build a system together that works for you. On the flippity flop of that, the flip side is I'm hoping that you can see this and you can use this from a person who is super duper not perfect. I'm not saying that those guys claim to be perfect, right? But you see all the fancy YouTubes and they've got the $5,000 camera and all the expensive shit. And it seems like their stuff is all together. And we just know, I mean, I think we know that's not true. But I'm just out here sharing this video with you because I'm super duper, absolutely not perfect. And I'm just trying to be helpful. So as you go through the thing, you're going to notice my brain go off into all different directions. And if you have ADHD, you're going to get lost in this video. I promise you. Don't sweat it. Push pause, go do something else. Put it in your watch later. I don't think that's a great idea. And in a future video, I'll share why not and how to overcome that. I don't do that anymore. But the point is, the video I think will be worthwhile for you to look through and at least see like how an ADHD brain works in action, right? Like you're seeing me go through this thing and I'm showing you each of my little buckets and my pockets and the things that derail me. And if you keep watching these videos, you hit like and subscribe if you see this on YouTube, you're going to go through this and you're going to see me solve this, right? I'm going to crack the code on this. I'm working with a software developer and coaches and stuff like that. And I have built a pretty good life for myself. But if I had a better system for conquering some of this, I know I could go to a whole other level. So tuck in, watch the rest of this. I'm super glad that you're watching along. I hope you stay right to the end, and I hope that you comment or we interact somehow. If you have ideas on things that have worked for you, go ahead and share them. Share them in the comments. Share them however you want to share them, but make sure if you're a person, like I said, that has all these different, I call them open loops, things that keep stealing your attention and you feel fragmented and probably frustrated and maybe a little bit lost. I hope that this helps you and I hope that you gain something from this video. I'm pretty sure you will. So thanks for watching along and we'll catch you soon. Alrighty, I've made this video like 67 trillion times, so I'm going to make it one last time, and this time finish it all the way. So I've recently been diagnosed with ADHD, no surprise to the people that know me, but I accomplished quite a lot of things. But I keep going through this same process that I want to either solve, I don't know if it can be solved because ADHD, or if I can just progressively get better at it. I met with a counselor yesterday, talked about it. She's like, man, your life is awesome. Like, don't feel like I can help you. But she also said that she figured that I'm on the right track. I'm doing very well. So why am I sharing this? I'm sharing this because I cannot possibly be the only one to have gone through this or is going through this. I have medication for ADHD, but what I'm going to show you in this video, I think could be telling. A person that has ADHD will be like, dude, that's just the normal for us. It's the way it is. I will not take on a label and let it define me and have it be something that holds me back. So I'm sharing this with people that I trust. I don't know that I'll make this public yet because, well, it's a little bit embarrassing. I mean, I am how I am, I'm wired how I am, but I don't want my clients to see this and be like, oh, the guy's a shit show, I can't work with him. I'm not a shit show. I'm fucking awesome at the things that I do, and I'm always striving to get better at it. So I guess I should just drop that label, but some of this will be very telling. Let's flip the camera and I'll show you what I mean. So first of all, this is my workspace. So it was quite plugged up. Right now it looks not too bad. I got a cup there, my little journal there. The rest is pretty clear. That's the whole thing. It's just shoved into a corner because the rest of the room is used for my band and our band practices. Yesterday, I had a whole bunch of crap on here on the couch, and I was like, you know what? I cannot be in this workspace and have all this bullshit. It's just distracting to me. I consider each thing an open loop. Let's go upstairs and I'll show you what I've done with the open loops. This is kind of funny. Okay, so here's all the clutter, the open loops that was down on the couch. I carted it down in this basket up to the old dining room table because I figured I'll just give myself till today at supper time, before supper time, to clear this out. I know that's adorable because what'll happen, it'll get pushed back into the basket and taken back and hidden somewhere. So it's not in my face, but not solved. And this is like a recurring thing. There's courses that I took and that's notes from them, but didn't deploy the lessons just yet because no time. Book I'm supposed to read, book that I wrote that's supposed to be released by now, but I can't stop editing it because it's not quote unquote good enough. Files for our investment properties I'm supposed to make neat and tidy and tell the story of and all that good stuff. Home videos for my kids, they're 19 and 15. Those are from when they're babies, they're still not done. Oh my God. Bank accounts that need sorting, got an appointment at 4 o'clock today to hopefully get that sorted out and it will be gone. So progress is being made, but it's not like super great or tidy. Exercises for my physiotherapist that I'm not doing because who's got time for that? Mother's phone to fix. And then this is the fun part. In here is systems I've already tried to build to solve this problem. There's a morning routine, there's an evening routine, super pretty, right? Calendar. Dig in the back here, we got a year calendar. Got digital versions of all these too, of course, because why wouldn't you? And then here is like, could I just come up with categories for each of these things? Then I took it a step further. Well, what if the category had what needs to be done in each of those steps? For example, let's say this is the book, this is the review, the edit, the send to publisher, whatever, all that kind of good stuff. This is somebody else's day planner. I've tried everybody else's day planner. Doesn't seem to work for me. They're like confined to what their structure is and not the structure that I'm craving. I'm not sure why that is. And this is like little pile of cards. I figured I'd do something like that where I could just write them out and then stick them wherever. And then if I had to, I could move them around in order of priority. I totally crave that in a digital setting, but I don't know how, like what tool would do that. And obviously haven't got time to build one or have one built, though I think it would help lots and lots of people with ADHD. So before we get into the computer, the other day I thought I would take this book, just a plain old notebook, there's nothing in it, blank pages, and I was like, I'm just gonna make a page for each thing. And you can see here I put business and my clients and some stuff that I wanted to work on. And then we're going on a trip to Tennessee, so I flagged some stuff there that I gotta do. And then I made this all the things and I just listed everything. And instead of making it digital, because I think that is one of my struggles, is I want it to be digital, which is great because it can have reminders, but I was like, I need to just see if making it fancy is part of the problem here, because perfectionism is definitely a painful trait. And then there's like me trying to crack the code on this system, mapping out like Cal Newport's time blocking system, and then thinking about like what my time blocks are, and then habits. And another section would be like recurring things that I can just get reminders for that I make sure get done. And this was like crap on my desktop of my computer that needed to be sorted, as if I can't just look at the desktop. That's private numbers, don't look at that. That's me paying off my house early. But that's just yet another little distractionary sort of me flailing at trying to solve this problem. Let's go into the computer. So then down here, we've got our little exercise room. And in here, I've got one of my other open loop creators is a big old box of books. I had them all up on this shelf. I'm like, dude, you're not ever going to read those. Do something with them. So I put them in a box. And there's some good stuff in here. Like I started this year, 2024, with this. I read this book, and then I got a couple other productivity books, and I'm like, that's great, great ideas. Still doesn't solve my problem. It doesn't help me to create the system that I'm craving. And I'm not sure that's entirely true, because even as I say that, I'm like, dude, you got a lot of the pieces of this system that you're trying to create. Let's go into the computer. Alrighty, so inside the computer is also a good time. And by a good time, I mean not a good time. You can see this browser is blue, that's for my personal stuff. And then I've got another browser that's red for not personal stuff, business stuff. Keep it pretty clean. I try not to keep anything in folders or anything like that. I do have a few open loops, as in like stuff that's being returned and I need to make sure it got returned. I'd rather not have it in email. I'd rather have some sort of reminder system where this thing goes and lives. And then as I'm making this video, up pops this new email, and I'm like, I'm trying to find ways to stop new open loops, so unsubscribing from things. I took a psychology course at Queen's University and asked to be removed from their list like 10 times, and still they just keep coming. So I mean, myself, I know, if they can't figure their shit out and get me removed, I can just set a filter to dump this into the trash. I kept this open for a reason, because while I was in my business stuff here, one of the things that I've wanted to do for a long time, is create a YouTube channel. Even though you're this far in this video and you're like, dude, this guy is scattered as hell. I got a lot of great stuff to share with the world, I think. 50 years on this ball of dirt, and I've learned a whole bunch of stuff that I know for sure can be very helpful to somebody. So one of the things, this guy that I bought the YouTube course from, he's got millions of subscribers, and he's like, can definitely help me. I bought his course and did not go through it because of stories in my mind. Dude, who are you to make a YouTube channel? Nobody wants to hear from you. All that kind of bullshit. So I went to get the links for him to show him. So here's one. Super hilarious. I'm a funny guy. I think I'm funny. Some people do. No, obviously not that many with 41 subscribers, but just made a couple videos. Avocado No Toast is a total classic. Go watch that. But I went to get him the link. And ideally, you'd have one YouTube channel and not start 1,000 of them. So I go over here, and I think it says somewhere, view your channel, or is it channels? Hold on. There it is. So it's under accounts. So you can see I've started like Mike Murphy, like a personal channel, and I've started Seriously Ridiculous, which is just funny stuff. Hey, it's the Murphys. I thought we'd have a family YouTube channel, but nobody else in the family wants to do a YouTube channel. Brave Influence. That was what I was going to switch my company name from Swerve Marketing to Brave Influence. Let's go start all the things. It's ridiculous. It is seriously ridiculous. Get it? Right? Cool. So let's move on. So I sat down this morning and I thought, you know what? I will just, all my clients are caught up from yesterday. Like I did not all the work, but like the bulk of the important work yesterday. And I was like, I'm going to use some of this week to just get stuff done. My wife's having a 50th birthday party for me this coming Saturday, and she's wounded herself, and I want to help her as much as I can through this week. Okay, let's see how I can land the plane with this stuff. So I sat down today, and maybe I shouldn't be on this screen as you gawk at my people's emails, but it's not their addresses. Doesn't matter. So I sat down here and I was like, I got most of the client work done for the week. I'll just go through here. I'll crank through these. Now, as you can see, it's 12:30. It was going okay, but I'm going to show you how some open loops got like reopened. As I went through, I would just hit things that were not actionable or didn't need to be, and I would just delete them, just blow them away. A lot of things in email open new loops, right? So a couple of these are for clients. Some are for business touch-ups, and one's for real estate, another one's for clients. Anyway, not that big a deal to crank through these, but sometimes, like I say, they create more open loops. Let me just see if there's anything else relevant in these other tabs. Kind of. I don't know if I need to switch to them, but as I go through here, like for example, I'll hit one client's thing. It opens up and I have to do some work on that. And then it's like, what needs something back from their team? So then that goes off to their team, and then I'm kind of at a standstill on that. Ideally, anything related to that function, I would just close the tabs because they kind of sit in my mind, and really, if they get back to me quickly, I can go back and I need the links again very soon. In this case, that was the case, but it's not always. Sometimes it's a day or two before they get back to me. Further to this, in this case, this was a situation where the thing that's not working for this client was not correctly set up by her tech team, and I'm the core provider for the client, so really this stuff all needs to be taken care of by me. So I wind up taking it on, like, okay, I'll just go fix it when they've been paid to fix it and set it up. So I got to stop doing that. Stop being the like, I know I could just log in and fix it and be done with it, but if I do that for everything, that creates a huge backlog and reduces the amount of things I can actually get done. Then, just like you saw earlier with the piles on the table, I wind up with courses that I want to complete so that I keep my own skill set sharp. And then moving right along, you see the old year tab here. That was upstairs on the table as well. That is me making, trying to figure out like a system to plan this, right? I want to be able to look at the year. I also use an app called Yearful that shows the whole year. Turns out it's not exactly what I was looking for either. So that's part of the trouble, is I either see systems that are close to what I want to do, but not exactly what I want to do. Now you might say, well, dude, why don't you just use your calendar here? Like, it's right there, and this is way busier than it normally is, but that does work. But I like to see the whole year in one go, and I think you can do that here, like that. Yes, you can. But now if I go and I say, like, I want to highlight this and highlight that, kind of plan out the year, you can't really do that and not make a change to the calendar. Like if I say, I think I'll take vacation, over here, I have to put it on the calendar. Or if I do something like this, I can just say, oh, let's see, I'll probably be gone here. I can highlight that. I can come back and change that later if I want to. Or like use it to plan and then put it on the calendar. That's, I guess, what I'm looking for. And then more open loops. This is just another learning piece that I got from a friend that will help my clients. But basically, I want to be in the role of like capturing these things from these high level people that I know and I have access to, so that I'm not in the weeds doing this stuff over here I showed with the ads and the funnel and that. I shouldn't be doing that. A teammate should be doing that. And then here, I should be getting the strategies for things like this one here and this tab, where the idea was to help clients bring better fit clients to them. This is a tool that can be used for that. I keep mentioning courses. There's that YouTube course that I never completed. You can see I'm 4% into it, one lesson, like the introduction. And then the guy that runs it, I had a little chat with him, Matt Diavella, and that's where I was sharing. You can't see my reply here, but I was sharing with him, like, I've got all this stuff on the go. How do I streamline the YouTube stuff? Well, he didn't say this because he's a polite guy, but it's like, dude, go through the friggin' course first before you get all these questions cooking. Then up pops Frida. That's the company that assessed my ADHD, and that's an open loop too, because that popped up in the email. I'm like, oh, they need to know I have a follow-up appointment tomorrow. They need to know how many ADHD pills I have left. There's just thing after thing after thing. So then back down the line, I have this here. This is Facebook. I use a thing called Newsfeed Eradicator that closes off Facebook so I can't access it. And then if I need to get on to get something or some information or whatever, I pop on here and I turn off Newsfeed Eradicator we'll do it really short so I don't cheat. And you go back to it, and then it's live again. Now, the trouble with this is if I do that, like I went to find something for this client back here, and something came up. I don't know where the post is now. It closed. Oh, this is what it was. When you test ads, you have to create a test. You can see this says this ad is shared with you. That's a test ad. I click on that. I get the link I need, and I test the tracking. What happens is scrolling to get that. Sometimes I'll hit a thing where one of my friends will share something cool. In this case, they did. They were asking about book publishing. You saw earlier upstairs, I've got the pile with my book sitting there ready to be, I mean, it's finished. It's typeset, it's all finished. But in my mind, it's like, it's not that great yet. I need to go in and massage it and make it better. I saw a post, a person asking for a book coach. I referred them to my book coach. And inside of that, somebody else suggested good old Mel Robbins. Now, I was like, oh, instantly I recognized Mel. I know that she has ADHD. I've been looking for somebody to take all this stuff I'm talking about and help me reel it all in and sort of like coach me and guide me to make my own plan to solve it. I don't know who's going to see this video, but maybe I've asked you to help me solve it. Don't be offended that now I'm off into Mel's world. I'm not saying I'm going to do this, but of course I get into this and I'm like, my marketing brain goes, oh, okay, cool. Let's look at this funnel. It totally speaks to me. It's a good looking funnel. It looks like it's a good looking offer. And now my brain is off down that rabbit hole saying like, okay, I need to capture this page. So what I'll do is use this little button and capture it as a funnel that I want to study or learn from or model. Do I need to do that? Probably not, right? I can come and find it again if I need to. And that's part of the struggle that pointed me toward ADHD. It's like, my wife wouldn't do this, right? She wouldn't pop around like this. She would just drop this and move on with her life. So that's kind of a pain in the ass. The next thing to share is, as I'm saying, like I've got all this shit on the go, what'll happen is I'll have this red browser window open, then another one, then another one. One thing I started doing is like, okay, I know I don't want to close all these. So I'll go and I'll select all of these related tabs like that. And then I'll go add tabs to new group. And this is for Marie. And we'll give her a color, doesn't really matter. And then just like stash it like that. Now I don't need to look at that. That's not a terrible idea, knowing that I got to go back to that. I always keep the email and the calendar first and then the closed thingies. And if I could rip through these and just knock them out, then that would go away. The next thing that gets under my skin is, okay, we'll come back to that. See, I just had another interruptive thought right there, which was going to be Google Drives. I'll come back to that. But this is my desktop. Normally, I try not to keep stuff stored on the desktop. Just like my garage, you're like, well, dude, come on. That's not actually working out for you. So the way it usually goes, or should go, is I keep my book stored here on the desktop so that I can edit it, even if I don't have an internet connection, which like 99.9% of the time I do have, so that's kind of weird. And then I've added this, write a must read. This is a ladies training that will ideally help me fix what I think is my book is like average and not that great to being awesome and great. I've got this sorted to be filed. I won't mess with that just yet. We'll leave that. And then I've got master folders. I'll come back to those in one sec. I want to explain the rest over here. So some of this stuff is like a screenshot that I don't necessarily need. So these come up and it's like, all I need to do is use them for what I got them for. That was to show a client something and then get rid of them right away. So there, that's already done. And then the rest of this stuff, like there's client stuff that needs to be done. And then stuff that needs to be filed, like these over here. Right, that's a group. And then this whole calendar thing, I'm trying to create this better system for myself. So what I did was I made these calendars, and then they come up as JPEG. I scan them as PDFs, and then I put them into a folder on Google Drive, and then I can use my iPad, which is upstairs, and I can use it to write things that aren't permanent. So I think what I'm trying to say with this permanent, not permanent thing is I crave, or maybe my mind craves or something, a way to capture without committing, right? Like plan and dream and scheme, and then commit. Now, my old career when I was in engineering, I would use a pencil and paper, and I would draw the thing that I was designing. I would do the calculations in a notebook, and then I would go into the computer, fire up the 3D modeling software, and I'd model the design that I had just drawn out. That's how we all did it. So maybe this isn't so much a crutch as it is training. It might be a bit of both. Okay, back over to this side. As I'm trying to like reel all this together, I'm always watching other people's social media, which is part of the problem, and how they share. So I'll see a cool thing or an idea, and I'm like, oh, I would love to share content like that. So it's another way that I create mess and open loops. So in this case, my daughter had little black paper notebooks, and I thought, well, that would be cool if I did this, and then I wrote the thing I'm trying to say on it in silver or gold marker ink. What the hell? Why do I need to do that? That's not a right now thing, but that's what my brain does. It opens up these open loops that don't need to be taken care of right now, and then there's just a pile of all of them, which makes things a shit show. So back to this little corner. As things were coming in this past week or so, this was totally clear last week, completely empty except for the book, master folders, and this hard drive, which is sitting right there under the monitor. As things came in and I didn't deal with them, I'm like, let's chuck them in this sorted to be filed folder and see what's going on there. Now it says sorted to be filed. I just junked everything in there at first, and I was like, wait, let's sort it out so I'm only keeping things I need. I will almost guarantee you that I've fallen off with that. Let's have a look. Oh, it's not that bad. Except for, you can see right off the bat, well, I guess not. That's a course. This is what I'm learning about ADHD. There's a thing for my band. Certificates, another course. Crap I got for sale. Captured learnings for a software that I use. Insurance, one of my clients. Another course. Another course. Another course. Stuff for my mom. This operator person that I'm looking to find. I started a folder for that because why wouldn't you, right? Photos. I'm trying to better manage my photos. That's a whole other thing. I started a podcast and a YouTube channel, as I showed. I don't think I mentioned the podcast, but there's like some screen grabs of that, or some videos of that. Real estate investing, receipts, more shit. I don't need to learn more shit from Robin Sharma. Bye-bye. So anyway, that's gone. Another SOP that I was building, personal taxes. So not that bad. That's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. But if you take this whole... These just need a home, right? So I can't remember all the categories that Ali Abdaal and these other productivity people talk about, but I need to figure that out. Like, what's a system for me? Like, what do I need to actually capture and keep? I don't need to capture and keep all of this. I'll show you more about that in one sec. As we move to this, the other two pieces, the master folders and the hard drives, this is clearly, we are in the digital clutter section of this video that I'm sharing. So I thought let's do this a little more organized. So I got this hard drive, external hard drive, and in it, I thought that I would like to have a way to keep files that I don't need all the time, but I need to keep them, right? So the funny thing is, there's 4 terabyte hard drive, as you can see. I put the other one away, but it's right here. There's a 2 terabyte hard drive. Are we still even on video? Yeah, there's a 2 terabyte hard drive. I don't know if you just missed all of that desktop shit, but I will quickly go back over it. This is the digital clutter portion of the video. This is the 4 terabyte hard drive that we're looking in. And my idea was, like I said, to keep stuff in there that I have to save that I don't need all the time. But then this one, the 2 terabyte, that was for music stuff, like my band and writing and recording and all that, which I almost never do because I just simply don't have time for. So if you're not exhausted by this video, I'd be very surprised, because I am. But you can see in here, like, there's business, there's my buddy Alex that I'm learning from. Downloads, I don't even know why that's there. That's pictures and videos, it looks like. iPhone photos, trying to organize the photos again, and that's the second spot you've seen photos stashed, which is not great. Master folders, well, that's the exact same as this on the desktop. I'll show you that in one sec. I moved it there to bring that folder with me to California. which I always bring all this shit with me when I go on a trip, and I definitely don't need it all, right? It's crazy. And then there's the personal folder, as you see from the master folder thing. There should be business and personal, and everything else should live in those two. Tracks, that's for my band and music. And it also, these files also live on my hard drive of this computer, which, yeah, let's move on from that for a sec. I'll come back to the master folders, but if we go into this WD MyCloud EX4, this is, I don't know how many terabyte network storage device that sits upstairs with the router and our printer. And we'll just let it connect here and I'll show you that. This is embarrassing. Okay, so now we're in that NAS, and there's home movies. You saw the home movies upstairs. There's movies, like movies you can't find on Netflix or whatever that I've ripped off our DVDs to save here. Music, like I have Spotify, but this is like all our old, apparently it's not, I was going to say CDs from back in the day. Yes, it is. There they are. Do I need this? Probably not. It's probably what I need is probably just on Spotify. Photos, like I said, this is like I really don't want to delete my family's photos, so they exist here on the network and they exist here on the hard drive, 4 terabyte one. Recordings family, I don't know what the hell that is. Oh, old cassettes, and then my kids when they're young. Piles of shit. I'm giving you way too much information, I'm sure. There's business stuff that I've accrued that apparently needs to be sorted, and then there's all other stuff that needs to be sorted. It's just nuts. It's absolutely nuts. I've often wondered what would happen if I just took all these hard drives and all these files and just deleted everything. I'm not sure if I'd have a heart attack. I would probably overcome it somehow, but some of it I want to keep, like our wills are in here somewhere. And probably most of it is old bullshit that we just simply don't need. So what I did with that is I keep trying to go back to master folders. I have 2 more things to show you, I promise. If you're still watching, thank you so much. This is like inside the mind of a person with ADHD who all through my life, before I ever considered ADHD, I was like, no, I'm just dumb. Like I have terrible systems and I can't overcome this. I don't know how to overcome it. And this is just who I am and how I am. That's a horrible way to think. There's a reason behind these things, right? So before we talk about master folders, further to the digital system is, you can see a bunch of different snags here, but we got Google Drive. And in here, there's different folders, right? Home videos, well, that exists also on those hard drives. Different interests, filmmaking, faith, my band and music. I do need that one because we pull our tracks from here when we play live. Little dirt bike project, my wife and I, things I'm working on, workbench project, all this shit, right? And then outside of that, you've got these little tabs and links. And as you see when I came in here, there's all these little tabs, right? That just fire up the new, I don't know, this is speed dial. I don't know what you call these shortcuts. I guess we'll call them shortcuts. That's fine and dandy. Then you go into the business side and guess what? Same thing exists. These, which is funny, I subscribe, I pay for speed dial, but yet they're not all the same. So I'm not sure why that is. It's a good tool, but it's not a great tool because it's obviously, you can see already it's not linking up and matching the tabs properly. But I don't need all this stuff either, probably. I have told my wife 1,000 times I should probably just take a week and just dedicate like a week off. I'd need a week off per month probably to go and just say this is digital clutter cleaning week and just burn everything down through that week. But yeah, I don't know if I have that kind of time flexibility. But lo and behold, inside of there you got Google Drive, and it's got all its own shit too. It's not terribly bad except for the work one. This one is pretty good, and the company ones, these 3 red ones, they're all pretty well sorted. But then I keep making these others, right? So I've got images for posting. When I showed the black paper that I'm gonna write the ink thing on, that would be where stuff like that would get stored either in there or in graphic elements, which you don't need. You can just go Google arrows and get another arrow. It's crazy. And then offers I come up with, they're in here. simple productivity. That's one of my dreams, is to help bring this together in a product that actually helps people with ADHD, instead of saying just make a list and prioritize them, which doesn't seem to work for me. And then the other thing you might have caught is, you see here, Z clear it out. To sort, I make all these stupid little folders that this is shit that I've just cast aside, but may need, may not need. So to get to the point of all this shit, like coming out of this, back into master folders, I was like, wait, man, I need to figure out, and this feels like it's a good part of this solution, what does it actually look like? Like, what do I actually need to capture and keep? Probably very little. These folders should be empty because this is just in the planning stage, right? But what happens is, inside of all these little storage spaces, is things are duplicated and they're willy-nilly, and they're also kept longer than they need to be. When I do a course, I don't need to keep that course for the rest of my life. Ideally, we would buy one course. I say we because if you got ADHD, you got to do this too. One course, buy the thing, go all the way through it, completely finish it, take notes from it, capture the learnings from it, apply the learnings, get the result, delete the course, delete the login, delete the course. I want a good spot to keep the notes, ideally not under the course name, but something. So that's kind of where I'm at with this little bit of stuff. I guess you could say I'm part of the way into figuring out what this is. Pretty close. Yeah, and I just need to carve out the time, but the to-dos, they never stop coming, right? So I've been looking on, like, how can I schedule this? That's what was attractive to me about the Mel Robbins thing, is like, that's scheduled. You're in a group. I don't want to be in a group discussing everybody else's bullshit, but like, show what I have to a person and then say, look, dude, here's what you need to do. And then maybe I block out time on my own or with them, or maybe I can offload some of this stuff. When I think about the offloading, here is the, I don't even have it handy here. Sure I do. It was just buried in a folder here. So home videos, upstairs on the table, I showed the bag with all of the tapes for the camera, and there's DVDs in there, which is probably just duplicates of what's on the tapes. Then I've gone in here and tried to capture all of these. I would be willing to bet that every one of those tapes and DVDs are already captured. They could actually probably be thrown out. They're all on here somewhere in this pile. And then you see things like unsorted, like what the fuck is going on there? That's crazy. I've tried to outsource to somebody and they're like, dude, I have no clue what is going on with all your shit here. Yeah, so it's hard for somebody else to take this on, but yeah, what do you do? So the next part of the journey was, what tools could be used to solve this? Do I need a tool? I need something to plan this. And I'm sure that the thought that I just had was a saying, I think it was Einstein, a problem cannot be solved by the mind that created it. And I don't know if that's the exact phrase or whatever, but that's my version of it. So I found this thing called Workflowy because I've used Asana, Monday, ClickUp, Basecamp, all these different things. And I'm like, they're cool, but they don't do exactly what I want them to do. Or Notion. Everybody seems to love Notion. I don't love Notion. It starts out blank, and I'm like, if I buy somebody's template, that's confining me to their system. I'm like, well, that doesn't really work for me. But if I go to build my own, I'm like, well, I keep getting pulled back and forth between digital and physical. So inside of this little journal I mentioned, this is like Workflowy, only physical, right? So I'm trying to, let's just show you. So inside of here, we got Life Dashboard. I click that, and it's got personal and professional. That's the theme I keep coming back to. Personal's got each of the groups. Projects has each of the projects. Ideally in there, it would have all the things that need to be done. I just did this just last week on my flight to California. I want to renovate my garage, so I go in there, what needs to be done? Do I have links in here? Yes, I do, right? So this seems like not a terrible way. So maybe I'm closer than I think with this part, and I just need to see it through. I went back to here to open loops, see what's in there. Actually, these are both taken care of. They're done and gone. So there are no open loops, but there's no reminders on any of these. So the thing that I'm facing with that is like having a system where a thing comes to me, right? Like I was traipsing through that Facebook group and I saw a thing I wanted to go back to. You don't have to go back to everything, first of all, but I need a way to capture. I get lots of good ideas and lots of good lessons, but I want to be able to capture them nice and neat and tidy. And I'll make this a bit bigger so it's maybe less, less weird. So this isn't, it's neat and tidy, but I have to go and open workflowy and then go and find the right thing. So what I did have set up before was I had a thing called Todoist, and I would say to Alexa, add apples to my grocery list. And it was set up, it would add groceries or apples to my grocery list. That's pretty cool. It didn't set a reminder, but I think it probably could have. But then when I was in Todoist, I tried to add these different projects, and I would add like captured lessons or whatever. And it was hard to get it to the things I wanted to call out as commands, get it to just stick into where it needed to go. So that wasn't the perfect system or a well-working system either. So upstairs I mentioned all these attempts to make my own system, right? Which I'm still attempting to make my own system. So here's this thing that was called categorized to-dos. And down here there's like do categorized, right? Then here's to-do list. And each of these things has stuff dumped in it, and it's me trying a different method to overcome this problem. So as you can see from this planning, this is super, super ineffective. So I get ideas. I'm like, okay, well, I'll have the brain dump thing because I want to be able to just get everything out of my noggin. And then I'm like, well, there's got to be categories. Some stuff is errands I can run quickly. We live right on the US border. We run across there for stuff. Clients, growing my business, business operations, learning, home, health, band, blah, 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 all this other good stuff, right? But putting it into here doesn't solve a damn thing. It just puts it in here, at least so I can try it. Then it proves that it's not going to work. Then I'll switch from this and I'll pop over to stuff like this. I'll make a to-do list. I'll just crank these things out. This actually doesn't work too bad because I'll do this and then I'll print it out. What I then need to do is delete this file because now it's just sitting there, and I could go back in here and like, I got that, I got this, I got that, I did this, etc., etc. But the thing is, this could be done in a task app like, Todoist or Asana or ClickUp or any of those. It just needs to be set up the way that my brain is functioning, and I haven't been able to crack that just yet. Back to this one, I was like, well, wait, if I had this old app called Wunderlist, and it was very cool because you could type things out, then you could drag them around. Like you could grab on the thing and just drag it to another spot. It didn't do what I'm about to show you, but I wish it did. So I had this in my head and I was like, well, wait, what if the homepage of that app was in here and you just cranked up all of your different things, like you did your brain dump, and then maybe they got categorized, right? Like this is business, that's business, this is personal, etc., right? And then in this calendar view you see here, it's just a cheap, dirty, quick version, but it's each of the days of the week. And then above is like work time and below is personal time. So I shouldn't be working on stuff for the band during work time. So in my mind, I would just grab each of these things and I would just slide them to a slot, like when I'm going to work on them. Obviously not perfect. It needs reminders. It needs, like, I'm going to get the time wrong. I pictured it that it would be, like, some of them are going to be recurring. I'm going to need to work on the thing a bunch of times, like the courses. So maybe that is, like I could drag it and then mark it recurring. That would be awesome. So this Wunderlist thing doesn't exist anymore. They shut it down. They sold it to Microsoft, and it became Microsoft To Do, which was a shitty app. I don't know if it still exists, but it was terrible. It lacked all the cool features that Wunderlist actually had. So I went to the Wunderlist dudes and I was like, hey, do you have, like, are you guys still in business? Do you have the source code for that? I thought maybe I would buy this thing and revive it and have a programmer blend in this thing that I'm asking about. They said, oh yeah, we started a thing called Superlist, all the lists, right? So I got Superlist, and then I'm like, well, it doesn't do the thing that I'm asking for, right? There's the brain dump. And yes, you can set reminders, and yes, you can click things off. You can slide things around like this, but I can't slide them around on a calendar. So it didn't really solve the problem. You can see I've tried to make some of the folders, or I guess they call them lists, but when I showed you in Workflowy, you got personal, then all the drop downs. I kind of broke that because here's personal, but then it doesn't have all the categories in there, right? Where tasks and errands would probably be under personal. Maybe they don't need to be. But there will be personal projects and there will be work projects. So those need to live in the right folders. So maybe this is closer than I think. The people that made this, they replied back and they said, well, it doesn't do exactly what you're asking, but it comes very close. And that's how most of our power users and our team uses it. So they talked about like using the inbox, and I don't remember the whole setup. I'd have to go review the email, but they claim they have it set up similar to what I'm asking for. When I read the email, I was like, nah, that's not actually what I'm asking for, but I might just be too new at the app. This is a really long video, so I'm going to cap it off. That's an awful lot of information. That is the inside of my mind that I clearly do not have mastered how to operate. I think I have good ideas for it, and I think I just need to mastermind with somebody to get together and be like, look, you got all these tools and all these things. Here's what I hear that you need. Here's how it's going to look to map it out. I need an operator, somebody with an operator mind, I think preferably that's doesn't have executive function or executive dysfunction like I do, or maybe they have a better grasp of it, but just to help me pull this together in a system. I do believe that what we pull together could be absolutely world changing, because all of these things that I've gone through, they just don't seem to solve the problem, right? Like all these productivity books I've bought and read, courses that I've bought on the topic, YouTube videos I've consumed, all good ideas. There's lots of little good ideas, but not one to me that pulls it together in this system that can identify, and I haven't been through every course obviously, but can identify like the core areas and how to manage them properly. So thanks for watching this. If you did watch it this long, you are a rock star. I definitely owe you. If you can help, I'm happy to pay you. If you can't help, that's all good too. I'm open to your ideas either way. And either way, thanks so much for watching this. I deeply, deeply appreciate it. So another pain point is my beloved garage. Now you might look at it and be like, beloved, gross dude. That's not worthy of being beloved, but check it out. Here is my little sweet daddy. Now, he's passed on many years ago, 24 years ago, 23 and a bit. But look at his garage, right? It's a bit of a shit show, but he was fine with it. He rocked it and he loved it. We spent lots of time out there together and it was great. But my garage is never like this. But you're like, dude, it's like this right now. I know. I built the garage all by myself, or mostly by myself. Painted it, epoxied the floor, built the cabinets myself. Like, normally it's very, very spotless clean in here. I put things on anything I build on wheels so it can be rolled out, and we got TV, we got heat, and this garage is normally so clean that we have Thanksgiving dinner out here with my family. I put rows of tables and chairs and move all the stuff out, like the bikes and the stuff on wheels, and it's nice and neat and tidy. This is like, it's been like this for a few months now, and it's super not normal. I don't know if the ADHD has just crept up and kicked me in the nuts and I'm like stuck on things, but I did things like, why not look up your childhood dirt bike that I had, and rebuild it from scratch. Don't even know how to rebuild a dirt bike. That's the second one that I've done though. So got that all sorted. Got shit over here on the side, that's parts for it. I've just allowed this to build up, and like what's caused this is the overwhelm of things like open loops. There's our barbecue rusted out, and the company was kind enough to send me new parts. That's a whole other project. There's a big speaker, a subwoofer for my band. I can totally afford to buy a brand spanking new subwoofer with nothing at all wrong with it. But no, I buy this one. I did save $400, but it was slightly damaged, had been dropped, and right here was cracked. I took it all apart, glued it, repainted it. It's a little dusty now, but it looks just like brand new, but it cost me some time, but it's also extremely fun to do. I really like that I salvaged a thing, saved 400 bucks, but like I said, it cost me a whole whack of time. So when I'm considering all these things, each one of these things exists in my mind as an open loop. Like there's the attic of the garage is one space that needs to be gone through and tidied up. There's the main garage where it's got, you know, its own little, I guess, subtasks, right? Like clean up the crap, but also finish the projects like the dirt bike. And like I said, each one of those exists in my mind as an open loop where I can be sitting down at my desk and working away, but each one of these things is firing inside my brain all at the same time. So I'm writing ads for a client and I'm like, oh man, I got to get that dirt bike finished because we're going away in May and I need to bring it with me. Super, super frustrating. So this video has gotten way longer than I ever intended, so let's summarize and land the plane. I made this video because I saw all these videos on YouTube where everything seems so perfect and it's like, that sounds awesome. I try it, it doesn't work for me. Then I feel like, there's probably other people where this is just not working out for them. The thing that I've craved for a whole bunch of time is to show another person who's ideally really good at problem solving and looking at things and creating systems, which is normally one of my superpowers, but I can't seem to do it in this instance, right? I could totally look at your business, figure out the potholes or whatever, and make it better for you, help you make it better. When it comes to this, I've craved, like I said, somebody to look over the whole thing, see all the facts and pull truths from it, and help create a system that helps me manage it and stay out of overwhelm, know what to work on when, maybe give insight on how to clear things out that don't actually need to be there. But when I look at it, I think of all these different things, as you saw in each section of the video, like the household, the computer, out in the garage, the this, the that, the other thing, all these spots where these, what I call open loops, exist, and then say, like, here's how you rein them all in, and here's how you get them conquered. I haven't been able to overcome that. It's a little bit embarrassing to admit. I say a lot. Not ideal. It's all good. And then tell me, like, here's how I would suggest you fix that. The person doesn't have to get this absolutely perfect, but it needs to be in progress. And I haven't been able to find that person just yet. Maybe you're that person. I don't know. Maybe you're watching this video looking for the answer yourself. If I do share this publicly and you follow along, you will find out what the solution is that I've come up with, because I'm on with some very smart people trying to figure this out. And it'll get conquered somehow. I'm not sure that there's a perfect system that fits everyone or a whole bunch of people, but we'll see. There's got to be some sort of framework that works for the neurodiverse mind that's like a base or a starting point, where it's not like, hey, here's this template that you have to use. I don't think that's a good approach. More like, here's some different sections that you might consider that are probably going to help you create the system that works best for you. I think that's the outcome that I'm looking for. And it's the outcome that I see being created that I wind up sharing with other people, and maybe it helps you. So hope this video helped you. I hope it served you. If you've watched it this far, thank you so much. I know it's super long-winded. Talk to you soon. See ya.